I think we're getting used to this location. It's not the easiest one to transport people in. It takes us like probably about 40 minutes to ship in 30 people.
And yes, this is a big day. 250, lots of it's with the army. We've got a few independents and they've travelled from all over the place, like Napier and Palmerston North, and we've got a whole heap of Wellington elves who've come up to be elves here again. So we've got a good, strong bunch of regulars that keep coming back. It's a good location. It looks like the moon, but there's a lot of, you know, ankle twisting and good knee snapping to be done, as the actual set is so small and they're making people run.
We've been using the army and we lost 5 orcs in the first day. Basically 2 to claustrophobia, 2 to twisted ankles, and 1 to a busted
Popped out knee, yeah.
So.
And in total it's 7 down, I think.
7 down, 7 to Ruapehu, 0 to us.
Yep.
So.
Going through them like flies.
And the moss. I don't know if you've heard about the moss. Doc's probably round, but yes, we're only allowed to walk on the carpet, and you've probably seen a lot of carpet round. Oh God, we're probably standing on moss.
Actually,
so it makes things a little bit difficult. Sometimes we've seen people going to war and then they're dodging moss instead of thinking about going to war. So we try and keep an eye on that.
But we're very environmental, and everybody's very careful.
Go the moss.
Go the moss.
Rocks. Rocks. Rocks.
Yep, on your rock.
Moss. Oh, moss. Avoiding the moss. Going on to avoiding the moss. Going onto the. That's great.
Ready? Hold! Go! 1, 2.
This is the biggest low-budget film being made anywhere in the world at this time.
It's the biggest low-budget film being made in the Wellington area.
In the Wellington area. It's the biggest low-budget film being made in the history of the planet.
I know. I've always been asked, all the actors have already said, you know, with a budget like this, I can't believe we're like shooting in tin sheds. Where is all the money going?
Did you tell them we built these tin sheds?
We're going to have Music of the Ring, which is a kind of almost beautiful elvish music. So it has this very sort of lyrical, seductive quality.
So deceiving.
But Black speech comes out underneath. There's this sort of bubbling, insidious, evil, whispering stuff, which gets louder as it becomes more obvious what it is. You know, its true nature becomes more known.
Right, so each of the ring wraiths are going to have a different sword, is that the idea?
That's right. This is the... We're trying to attain some sort of mythical reality, I think. And it has to look like it's been lived in and sweated in and broken and repaired. And if that feel can come across, then I think something will come through.
Good. I've had requests again about people coming to view things as they happen. For instance, today, the makeup tests. I had to say no. I'm obviously going to have to do a memo. It's wonderful that everybody's interested, but we can't have people standing around watching actors doing their thing. They may never have seen it before, and it might be highly amusing and very interesting, but I just have to say again, everybody, the answer will always be no. So please don't ring and bother asking anymore, because the answer's going to be no.
Just so you know, one debate we're going to have with the Maori tribe there is the depiction of the peak. And I'm sure we're going to want to see it.
No.
You don't want to see it?
Well, should we just say what we're
I think we'd probably win it. We just have to go through the argument, you know.
Well, it's interesting because I don't think we would see it, because if we're seeing the peak, we're going to want it to put in an exploding volcano, because Mount Doom's erupting the whole time, and if we're putting an exploding volcano in, we're probably going to make a more interesting looking peak.
Right, yeah.
Because the peak doesn't look like shit from here.
Right.
The peak just looks, you can't even see it's a peak, it just kind of goes up to a sort of a ridge line, and and if we're going to have Mount Doom, we just want a big cone blasting away up there. So
this is actually bad photography.
in a funny kind of a way, it's a situation where we'd point our cameras up there, but we might then replace everything up there with a miniature and a blast CG.
So we can tell them that we wouldn't see it.
I think in a way we could be very honest and accurate to say that the peak will not be appearing in the film.
At the moment, we're knee-deep in a bit of a numerical challenge. We were talking about it yesterday. We feel like we're drowning by numbers in this department. It's because the complexity of it that we need, because we've got so many shooting units, and there are so many doubles, both scale and big rig double. We had 64 Frodo outfits that we would need for the films and 32 Aragorns, and we were up to 133 bags, travel bags, for each of the characters. And as a consequence, the girls are feeling ever so slightly disheartened.
All of our stuff was supposed to arrive today, apart from the trunk radios, is either not in the country or is in Auckland with customs. So they're scrambling, trying to find replacements. But I'm going to have to work tomorrow to sort of sort it all out, so the second unit aren't left too high and dry.
But they don't need walkie-talkies next week.
I just want to know what gear we've got and what gear they have, just so it doesn't end up there being anything missing.
At the moment, we've got everything.
It's going to be borderline. I'm waiting on some stuff to come over now, whether we've got enough stuff for Monday. I can make it work, but it's a bit of a shit fight. But yeah, just letting you know that at the moment.
But at the moment, I don't want you to work tomorrow.
I can't see another way getting it done.
The one thing that we're obviously going to deliver, and it's obvious we are, just from seeing, is we're in a sort of ILM or digital domain level of quality, probably better. I mean, there's every expectation that Gollum is going to be better than Jar Jar Binks, just in terms of his realism and his lip sync and everything else, you know. I mean, we're aiming at that level.
We're going to be using the radios that we've got on Monday.
Yes.
So there are not going to be any other radios to work with.
Capital Communications bringing those 30 in case, as standby.
Which 30? You said they weren't here.
We can probably do every shot that we've got planned for. If we lower our sights to Lost in Space, we'd lose half our guys because they probably wouldn't want to be involved, but then we'd hire cheaper guys in who would just be happy to do it anyway. We'd be down to that quality. They'd get the shots for that sort of money. I mean, you know, there's options like that if they choose.
Well, you know, we've had these radios for ages. I'm not quite sure why we just haven't distributed them already.
Because I was waiting for the accessories to arrive and the trunking radios.
Right. Okay. I don't want it to work tomorrow.
Meaning?
Thank you very much.
I'll drag Charlie in and really get into it with him, and I'll just see if there's something I can spot that can get rid of a couple of million at least, just to initially to get a head start on it and just see what we can do from there. Yeah.
Take Jo's salary out of my wage if she can't work tomorrow. She's got to work tomorrow to get everything finished. If you have a problem with that, take it out of my salary. You have my
Cara,
I've got her over there in tears.
There's walkie-talkies. I mean, I can't believe we can't distribute walkie-talkies.
She has been working all week trying to sort out the mess that they're in. It's still not ready to be done. There's still people wanting more. She's battling with people trying to work out what they want. She cannot finish it by today. She has to work tomorrow. I will pay her. That's it. That's all. It's that easy. I'll do it. Take it out of my salary.
How you doing? You ready for the first one? What's up? What was that?
Normally we've got like a main unit of lighting, which is where most of the lighting goes, and then there's a second unit which is not quite as big as the main, not using as many lights perhaps, and then there's a miniatures unit again which normally doesn't use as much lights, but on this job each of those three units are as big as each other basically. The second unit almost has exactly what the main unit has in terms of lighting packages, distribution, gripping gear, what have you. And the miniature team, a lot of dimmers and that kind of control work. It's huge on that scale. That's why we've got so much gear here laid out, ready to be distributed to the different units.
So we basically just sit here for most of the day and we talk about old movies. Keep our eye out for Rick Porras, the associate producer. Somebody just checks the window, sees if he's approaching, and when we see Rick coming, we start doing some storyboards.
Okay, so if you bring this part here, with this one with a...
And we get 2 or 3 done, don't we? And so we can talk about old movies again.
And you come on.
So it's good, it's a fun day, good day. Last of the summer days before we start the hell of shooting, really. Our storyboards also go into the animatics. And the animatics are like a little movie version of the film that we make in advance of the actual shooting, where we film our storyboards with a video camera, we then cut them together on the Avid. It gives us an opportunity really to look at the film ahead of shooting. It informs us about the script, tells us if bits of the film don't seem to be working, if the pace isn't quite right, if there's boring bits, if the momentum is wonky, we have a chance to fix it.
what the brief for the tree was, that it was a very old, gnarled tree with long limbs that crept right out over Bag End. And that makes it a nice looking tree, but logistically it makes it very difficult in that it is so unbalanced. All the leaves which would shrivel have been picked off, and these are all artificial oak leaves that are wired on. There's about 250,000 artificial leaves. So we had 10 people for just on a week and a half wiring leaves.
You've painted a lonely mountain.
Echenin, it's from the verb echedo.
Plural, not singular.
That's right. It's Sindarin, the language of elves.
First of all, standing or sitting on there, and then you're going to climb over the back. You have to climb back, and then you can go around. So your arm's dangerous there. That's all right. Yeah, okay.
Okay, Zane here hasn't been out on the big show for a while, and he's ready for the ramp now. Come on, Zane.
It feels like a million different moving parts. Literally aren't connected, they're just attached.
Nice.
There's really nothing you can do to train for it other than get up in them and walk up and down.
These hands work as the same scale as the rig, but they also hopefully double to show human contact with the hobbits and helping with the scale.
Only a couple of carrots and some cabbages and those 3 bags of potatoes that we lifted last week, and then the mushrooms the week before. Yes, Pippin. My point is, he's clearly overreacting. Run!
Elijah has to fall down onto the ground.
It was very serious shot.
Falling down onto Billy with me by his side near his anal passage, and as he fell down, he let go a little burp.
Right. That was great. Fantastic. Okay. All right. Thank you.
That was great, guys. Have you got one more in you?
Me and Dom were doing a lot of good acting as well. But
Yeah,
I can't wait to see if it shows up on the sound. And my eyes were nipping,
gonna show up on
and
the
it was
DVD.
really, really sore. And I was almost sick. And even the thought of it now.
My nose and ears were bleeding.
Yeah, they were. You gotta love your castmates.
Is this a statement? Is this a suggestion?
No.
Is this an aspiration?
It's aspiration. Have you seen Elijah's ears?
Okay, well they're looking good.
But it's very important that you get an indiscernible blend down onto that.
If you don't know what you're doing, you can basically send your knees through your chin.
I sell.
I'm just going to pop the second unit of this.
Go on, Sam. Ask Rosie for a dance. What, me? Just walk up and take her hand. I'll do her hand. I think I'll just have another hand.
So this Elijah guy, you know this Elijah Wood guy?
Yeah.
Have you spoken to him?
Yeah, a couple of things.
I was speaking to him today, and he's just been a real idiot.
He's up.
Hey!
Hey!
How are you? Sit
How are
down,
you,
man.
How are you? Hey, good.
This party seems cool, isn't it? Elijah Wood!
Hey, I've got a present for
Down,
you.
Monaghan.
I've got a present for you.
A present?
Yeah.
What for?
Oh, just nothing.
Yeah?
Just something I picked up.
You deserve one, man. Oh, that's cool. You guys rule. I'm gonna go and get it. All right. Yes.
Next time, I'm gonna punch him right in the.
I already did that to him the other day, man.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. He cried as well. He's like,
Hey, mate!
hey. Hey! What's going on? Cut an apple.
Hey! Hey, you guys.
I've never met friends like you before on a set.
Shut up.
No, honestly, I mean it.
Nah, I would agree with that as well.
You want to bite my apple?
Never been so close to
No.
two people in my life.
Yeah.
You want to bite my apple? Be an extra.
No idea.
He's jabbering all the time. I'm sat down, talking to you, trying to run my lines.
Right.
Jabba, jabba, jabba.
Yeah, constantly trying to interrupt.
And I'm busy with it.
Hey! What's going on?
Billy boy!
Hey, how are you?
Hey!
All right.
Billy boy!
So we need to get back up in a minute or two, I think.
Will we going back up?
Yeah, I think so.
I can't wait to do this scene with you.
Yeah, we'll have fun, eh?
You're just so giving.
I think that's us.
All right.
There's one coming into land and then there's 3 small ones, but you'll be fine. I'm the plane spotter out here at the airport and the studio's just behind us, and I have to tell them basically when the planes are coming overhead because we have to stop the filming. Some of the actors are a little bit more testy than others. Some like it through rehearsals, some just when we're shooting. And basically it's a great job because I get to sit out in the sun all day long and read books in between. Occasionally I'll pop back for a little food, but apart from that, I just spot the planes.
We could try and get a shot that comes in through the doorway.
Where does the ring fall? Get left?
It gets left on the floor by the fireplace, and then we want to be able to look back through at Gandalf and Frodo sitting on the floor here.
Where's the kitchen stove? There. So that's the table. So
Gandalf might be seated up.
That's about as far as we'd go.
So if we have Gandalf
sitting up
there, here, and possibly Frodo in the foreground. So we're moving in, and Gandalf is sitting right on the chairs there. In fact, if we had, if we turned the chair around so that he had his back to the fire, we might get a slightly better picture, slightly better image.
Yeah, because it's easier. Cate here.
We've had to build this facade 3 times. One for this set, one for the large set, and one for the large set up in Hobbiton. So we've got to replicate this part of it twice, and then do the big set in Hobbiton as well. All the furniture's got to be built in 2 sizes. This is mainly for Gandalf when he visits Bilbo and Frodo.
It is a bit spooky.
Well, they should have the checkers standing by in the other doorway, please, Joe. The same way we brought the cast in. We need to do checks and shoot.
Set and action. When we hold the tongs out, it'll be a thing where you'll have to put your hand out here, and the tongs will be over here. You know, it's sort of like what's going on here. And then, oh wait, you know what I mean? It's going here. Yeah.
What are you doing?
And it's burning. You just watch it for the burning, and then.
Give me your hand, Frodo. It's quite cool.
Comes up, pop it in, and then just go back to your eye lines again, your cheeked ones.
Oh, can you see? Can you see anything?
Something sort of that's quite You know what I mean? It sort of has a...
That's essentially what it is.
Yeah, okay. All right. All right, well, why don't I quickly go bang off this pocket shot so we can free up Richard and the other camera. You guys set up this for handheld.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's a good feeling. Now, should we just try it with Kieran and Sean running the same lines off camera here? So you, Sean and Kieran swap places. Now you've got a backpack on, Kieran.
Little! Samwise Gamgee, have you been eavesdropping?
I haven't been dropping no eaves, sir. I was just cutting the grass under the window, if you follow me.
A little late for trimming that, isn't it?
I heard raised voices.
Speak!
You're actually telling the truth, which makes you even more
We keep
scared.
it hidden. We never speak of it again. No one knows it's here. Do they? Turn. Do they, Gandalf?
There's one other who you that will have the ring. Got him. I looked for the creature as well. But the animal found him first.
Right, Captain! Accept that, please.
Well, that was, apart from the lines, that was the timing was great.
Apart from the lines?
Yeah, apart from the performance.
What?
The timing was really good.
Oh, my staff's still in the other room.
So you can listen to yourself, and when you hear turn, you can just sense that spot. So when you do it without the playback, you'll be able to feel the position of the camera for when you should be turning around, you know.
We put it away. We keep it hidden. We never speak of it again. No one knows it's here. Do they? Turn. Do they, Gandalf?
That is so utterly confusing.
Okay, it looked good. It looked good.
Did it look all right?
Yeah, you can use a little bit of...
Flash. Here we go. And action.
All right. We put it away. We keep it hidden. We never speak of it again. No one knows it's here, do they? Turn. Do they, Gandalf?
And you're basically just
And I can't go beyond that.
No,
Correct.
but you can put your elbow down there. The more down there you are, the better it looks actually. You know, it goes back to the fire. No.
And action.
It is the master ring.
Ing, gon, I, af, ra.
We had videos made by an expert in Elvish, and this man has studied the language, he knows how it sounds, he's put it all down on tape for us, and so we've used him and Tolkien's words, Tolkien's book.
How is it?
Very well. Well, very odd. I mean, more than usual. Last week he wrote his will and started roaring with laughter.
It's much better for the actor to find the accent finally, before looking at the script, from spontaneous thought and speech. If the actor can use the accent in his or her spontaneous speech, it means that it doesn't matter what's in the script, wouldn't you think?
They can handle anything.
They can then do anything that's thrown at them.
No, the food and drink will be flowing all night.
Back out the way. Straight up.
Of all the wine. Hi, as I go over my lines in embarrassment. Yeah.
Okay, let's just check your bed for no crime.
Action. And good up. And strike.
And it's snug in the scabbard. All the swords have a very slightly rounded off point, supposedly for safety, but if you tried hard enough, it would still go through somebody. It's just to reduce the risk to the actors a little bit. Actors don't like bleeding unless it's on cue. I've been a professional sword maker for about 12 years now, and 6 of those have been full-time. Since I've started here, I've been working on things that are the sort of the swords I've dreamed about working on, and I've also had nightmares about some of them. Since I started here, I've probably made 40 or so hero swords, 60 plus aluminium swords for the stunt work. And I've also worked on all sorts of other things, like 100 or so weapons made out of EVA foam for background work.
I had a friend who was really into sword fighting, and he tried it out, but his one was pretty heavy. I remember finding it quite difficult, so it'll be interesting.
Action!
I haven't slept in maybe 2 days, or 2 hours over the last 48. Lots of dancing, about 9 hours, and but yeah, no, fully into it.
And action! 2, 3, and 4. Okay, once again. Putting the power in. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, one more time. Pull the voice up a bit, don't. Yes, okay. On guard. Okay, just wait for the cue. And action. Okay, you didn't see another one. Action. Okay, yeah, place this one.
I've only got one thing to say. Yes, what? Yeah. Summed up my whole thing. You can't be...
Good, and...
That's good. Wonderful. I think the majority of people watching a sword film love the action, the sword play. And I have a saying about swords that through life you have a constant struggle between good and evil. And in the old days they used to settle that with the sword. That means you're standing with a sharp sword, eyeball to eyeball, with the goodie or the baddie, whichever you want to be. And you need to have a lot of courage to carry out that act. With a sword, death has some dignity to it.
Wow, they really do work.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Where can I get some? Hey, dude, look at that. Bitchin'.
I was so excited because I've been hanging out for about 2 years. When I first heard the movie was going to production, I actually wrote a letter. It would have been about 16 or 17, asking to be part of it. And now finally, woo, here.
It was a good time. Pretty much the usual walking backwards and forwards, 3 days.
You can't get in unless you've got these lovely pointed ears. You know, they're a requirement. You just, I mean, if you haven't got them, you don't get in.
Also handy for the Star Trek movies.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Trying to find extras, we really, it's important to get people that are really into it and that aren't, I don't know, that aren't annoying.
Back and put them behind there so they can come through.
When you have such specific physical types like elves and things like that, everybody can't be an elf, so therefore my pool runs out. We've got 300,000 people in Wellington, and I'm trying to find a pool of very tall, very beautiful, aged between 16 and 30, supermodel, available 24 hours for 2 years. Yeah, you go figure. We're really kind of stretched at the moment, so this is quite a big job for me to try and make sure that the good ones get in the front.
Now,
He's falling into the shadow world. He will soon become a wraith like them.
Don't be so sorry next time.
Today we've got the horse Florian, who plays the part of Asphalov, Arwen's horse. It's his first day on set. We can train him for all sorts of things like noise and fans and smoke and lights and mirrors and cameras. We can't reproduce 100 people on set. So it's all a little bit, let's see what happens, and I think he'll be pretty right though.
Whoa, don't bite me.
Set.
And...
Hang on.
Ow, 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 ow. That hurt. Why'd you do that? No. Hold the rope. You're out. Dead right.
Where is the end of the shot? When we cross the real road.
Cut it there, please.
Okay, got
So a string on one.
Strings and shot.
Strings on two, and you're very slow.
So Liv comes up and grabs them back, pulls them back into the...
Retrieving them back
which
up
would be,
on.
which would be nice, just really to...
Well, should we do the head as well if we're going to do that? Or no, you happy with the... You want a one like that? Oh God, it's raining.
Guys,
We have the worst luck in the world.
this rain's going to trash the costumes, just sort of give it a chance to ease.
While most people are at home trying to save their houses and sandbag their belongings, we make a film.
Hey, when are our scale doubles ready, Cate?
Good on you. It's all the turbans to do.
Richie's made snow just to keep you happy. It's just absolutely brilliant. Thank you.
Just looking it up, just slip this chat back in.
Well, you'll be here and they'll be there. You keep down to the head. You disappearing. We can have you going behind the bush and then.
At the moment, because you may have to come back.
And the other thing is everyone's starting to get a little bit cold.
I'm just I'm very cold. I've got people shivering and horses shivering, and it's, I can see
Well,
people
should we pull out now, eh?
I actually think we should.
Okay, okay, guys. Let's
Oh.
Done and done.
Trying to make these blocks look very slightly bedded in. They've shifted a bit over the years, they've slumped, they're weathered, they've aged a bit. Crack. There you are, instant aging. You realise this is a top secret process developed over 1 million years by cavemen and model makers alike.
It's very hard to see anything when the sun comes out. It's very contrasty. Trying to design a film set for the elves in the same way that the elves would have designed their own habitation, which is very much part of nature in the forest, and building around the trees rather than bulldozing them. So we're trying to be sensitive as we can. The logistics of actually getting large pieces of sets which are built in Wellington, transported out here, and so I kind of have to keep half an eye on what on the practicalities, but I don't let that kind of hold me back. This was just a great opportunity to work on one of the best books ever written in one of the most beautiful places on earth, with some of the nicest people that I know.
Wind draft from the helicopter just pushing the set around, so it's better to get rid of him, and we just get some guys out there and we'll lift it into position ourselves.
It's very easy to sit up 500 feet in the air and say, wow, that looks like a great location, let's film there. When you have up to 3 units per day, every day, for 18 months, taking that number of vehicles, those numbers of people, you really start to get an idea of the size of the logistics of this show. We have to think about the basics. Where are they going to go to the toilet? How are we going to serve them tea and coffee? If the weather closes in, we've got to put tents up for them. What are we going to do with the trash at the end of the day? So hopefully the director will only ever have to worry about flying in there on the day, directing the scene, and flying out again.